Hello children, today we will continue with the chapter The French Revolution. Hope you have gone through my previous lectures where we have discussed the condition of France which brought unrest in the society and also the various causes of French Revolution. In today's session we are going to start with outbreak of revolution. Before we start, let us first understand what the term outbreak means. Children, outbreak is sudden occurring of something unwelcoming, which is not desired by us, such as war or some diseases. Like today, the whole world is fighting with coronavirus, which can be termed as outbreak of a disease. For the ease of your understanding, I have tried to sum up the things in the form of flowchart, so that when I explain the things, it will be easy to relate. Children, you know that Louis XVI was planning to increase the taxes to meet the expenses of the state, as we discussed in the previous session. But the monarch did not have the power to impose taxes according to his will alone. To increase the taxes, he had to call a meeting of the Estates General, which would then pass his proposal for new taxes. You know that Estates General is a political body to which three estates send their representatives. But monarch alone could decide when to call a meeting of this body. So, on 5th May 1789, Louis XVI called an assembly of the Estates General in order to pass the proposal to raise the taxes. 300 representatives from each of the first and second state and 600 from third state, that is total of 1200 representatives gathered in a hall for assembly. Now representatives of first state were seated, first and the second state were seated in two rows, and the representative of third state had to stand at the back. Educated and prosperous people from the third state were the representatives of third state, who believed to represent the whole people of France. Peasants and laborers from the third state were not allowed in that assembly, but about 40,000 letters regarding their grievances were carried by the representatives of third states. Now, according to the principle of monarch, each state had one vote. It means first state has one vote, second state has one vote, and third state has one vote. But as the third state had 600 members, that is double of each of first and second state, that means they had greater representation in the Estates General. So they did not agree to this principle and demanded one vote for each member. But Louis XVI rejected this proposal, and as a result, all the representatives of the third estate walked out of the assembly in protest. On 20th June, representatives of third estate gathered in the indoor tennis court in Versailles, where they declared them as National Assembly and took an oath not to disburse till the new drafting of Constitution of France. Means what happened? They gathered in the indoor stadium to draft the Constitution of France. And this drafting of Constitution was taking place under the leadership of Mirabeau and Abbé Sieyès. Mirabeau belonged to noble family and Abessius was a priest to the church. Though they belonged to first and second estate, they believed in the need of privilege-free society. They were against the system in which few people enjoy certain privilege based on birth. Children, in the previous session, I have told you that many of the philosophers who have educated the people of third estate belong to the first and second estate. So Mirabeau and Abessius, who were talking about equality in the society, who were taking the leadership in drafting of constitution, belonged to the first and second state. They delivered powerful speeches regarding the need of new constitution and equal opportunity to all. Now, while they were busy making constitution, France was under turmoil. Means the situation in France was not stable. As we already know that people of France were facing in subsistence crisis. This we have about subsistence crisis we have discussed in the previous session under economic causes. And added to this, that very year, harvest was badly affected because of severe winter. This increased the price of bread. Hoarding of supply by bakers made the situation more critical. People, those who had money, stored grains. People had to stand in long queues to buy bread. One day, after long hours in queue, women got angry and they stormed the bakery. These type of incidents became common in France. So the king thought that situation has to be controlled, because under this situation people will start fighting among themselves or they will attack the king. So the king ordered army to move on the streets of Paris. Children, now we can relate this event with the starting of the chapter when on 14th July, if you remember, we started this chapter with an incident that occurred on 14th July 1789, where king had ordered the troops to march in Paris to suppress the turmoil. But this created unrest in the crowd, and in retaliation, they destroyed Bastille. On the other hand, in the countryside, a rumor spread that an order has been given to troops to destroy the crops. Because of the fear, peasants attacked the Châteauque and looted the hoarded grains. Now Châteauque, it is the residence belonging to the nobles. The records of manorial dues were set on fire. And many people were killed in this agitation. Many noblemen and clergy fled to neighboring countries to save their life. And finally, Louis XVI surrendered against the agitation and accepted the recognition of National Assembly and agreed that his power would be checked by Constitution. Means Louis XVI accepted the Constitution. Now the power came in the hands of the National Assembly. As soon as National Assembly gained the power, it started to take away the powers of clergy, and thesis was abolished. On 4th of August 1789, the feudal system of obligations, taxes, privileges to the nobility and clergy was abolished, and lands owned by the churches were confiscated. So, children, thus France became a constitutional monarchy from absolute monarchy. Thank you.